What's up, everybody? Tonight I'm going to be tying a deceiver pattern for muskie or pike or bass, whatever you want to throw it for. And it's going to be chartreuse, white, and black. I was very successful throwing a fly like that up in Canada. Caught a lot of fish on it, a lot of pike, a lot of muskie, even some walleye on that thing. So we're going to be tying that on a Ahrex Predator PR320 Stinger 6/0. Go ahead and throw that in the vise, and we'll get rolling. I'm going to start my thread up at the hook eye. Trim that. Now I'm going to bring it down to about right where the point of the hook is. About right there. I'm going to take a little chartreuse bucktail, cut off about a pencil width section, and just stack it on top of the hook. And remember to remove those guard hairs. You can comb them out or flick them like this. A little messier if you flick them. So if you have a comb, pull them out like that. Alright, so we're just going to lay those straight on top. 3 loose wraps, then pull tension, and I want to hold the fibers. I don't want them to rotate around the hook. We want that on the top and the sides. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to trim up those end fibers there that we don't need. Trim those off. Alright, put a little bit of glue on my thread, lock that deer hair in there. I'm going to come in with some pearl crystal flash, about a dozen pieces. I'm going to run that straight down the back. I'm going to do 1 loose wrap, then I'm going to roll it around with my thumb to kind of get it on the sides too. I'm going to trim off my pieces I don't need. I'm going to take 2 of these schlappen feathers in chartreuse, run down either side of the fly. Just need to pull them out of here, they won't come out. There we go. Come on. Sweet. Okay. Now just down either side. And I'm going to not tie it right here at the tip of the stem, but I'm going to come in about an inch. And that's going to be my tie-in point. Same thing on the back side. I'm going to trim off those stems that I don't need. Then next I'm going to come in with some regular white grizzly schlappen, sections about 7 to 9 inches long. Have one running down the front and the back. Lay that down over top of the chartreuse. Put one on the back side. I'll trim off that excess that I don't want. A little bit of glue. Looking good. And I'm going to come in with about half as much pearl crystal flash that I did as before. We'll lay that down over top of the feathers. Just straight down the back. And trim up that excess. And we're going to go back to our bucktail. We're going to trim off about another pencil width section. I think I'm going to comb it out this time. It got kind of messy last time. And I'm going to reverse tie this, so I want it to flare out over top of the feathers. Oh yeah, forgot to tell you, three loose wraps, and then slowly pull tension as you spin. That'll carry the deer hair around the shank. So let's go ahead and trim off these excess fibers here we don't want. It just helps you to fold it back. Build up your thread dam in front of your bucktail. Just like that. A little bit of glue on my thread now. Then I'm going to come in with that nice large pieces of marabou, and I'm just going to pick one off. There we go, that'll work. And what you want to do with this marabou is grab it by the very tip, just like that. You want to take all those fibers and stroke them downwards. So just hold them the very tip of it, just like that. We're going to come in with that tip piece. We're going to lay that right on top. After you get that caught in, I'm going to take the feather and fold it back over the fly. Pull all those fibers backwards. Then I'm going to wrap back over top of the stem on top of my thread dam. Then bring your thread forward towards the hook eye. We should be able to get about 5 or 6, maybe 7 turns out of this big marabou stem before it gets too thick and we can't work it anymore. So let's go ahead and start working those feather fibers backwards towards the hook point and turning. Every time you make a revolution palmering forward, I want you to take those fibers and stroke them backwards towards the hook point. I'm going to take my comb and periodically comb those fibers out so I'm not wrapping over top of them. Very easy to do that with marabou. And it's about all we can use on that stem. Give it one more. Alright, go ahead and lock that off. Trim that out of the way. And I'm going to comb that back. You may be left with a little bitty piece of your stem left, that little hump right there. After you've cleaned up your thread wraps a little bit, you can trim that down a little bit more. Use a little bit of glue again. Go over top of your wraps with some glue. Break out the comb, comb that back. Make sure no fibers are trapped in the thread wraps or underneath the stem. I'm going to take another piece of that big white X Select and do the same thing. Bring your thread forward once you've captured the stem in nice. Pull those fibers backwards. I really like working with marabou on pike flies and bass flies. Gives the illusion of bulk. with no bulk, weightless almost in the water. Go ahead and lock that off right there, and I'm going to trim all that excess stem out. We don't need it. Pick all those fibers out with a comb. Look how pretty that looks, man. Looks kick-ass. And come in and clean that up. Use a little bit of glue, not much. Just want to glue that stem in. Go over top of your wraps with some glue. Make sure it's not going anywhere. Make sure it won't unravel. Okay. Alright, we're ready for the head now. So we're going to take a couple of pieces of this chartreuse marabou and try to get some wraps towards the hook eye here, just to give it a nice little kick, nice little touch. I'm going to use my hackle pliers on this stem because it's really, really thin. And just palmer it up. Alright, right there at the end, I'm going to capture that stem in. Lock that off. Comb those fibers back. Trim off your stem. And we're going to do just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. One more feather. I just got to find the right one. There it is. Let's see if we can get a couple of turns out of this. Well, I guess we can't. Stem was too thin. Let's try that again. Mistakes happen, man. Sometimes those stems are too thin and they break. Gotta find just the right one. Alright, I think this one will work. That was a little longer. Let's repeat that process. Alright, try it again with the hackle pliers. Let's get one more wrap on it. Go ahead and lock that off right there. Take off our hackle pliers. Trim off the excess. And I'm going to comb all that stuff back. A little bit of glue on my thread. Okay, we can go ahead and finish that. And that is your Deceiver. Caught a lot of pike on this up in Ontario a couple years back. Exact same colors, identical fly. So, it's beautiful. Look at that. Anyways, really nothing to that pattern. Super simple. So, hope the video helps, and hope you liked it. If you did, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, hit me up in the comments, and don't forget to hit that little subscribe button down there. Hope it helped out for you boys. Spin one up. These things are just so cool, man. So, anyways, peace. Later on, guys.